Oh my God. Blood, blood, blood. Shame on you. Shame on you. Taking you an hour to cook minute rice. You took a whole hour out of my life with that video. You going down the line justifying absolutely nothing. You should have ran for office. Because if you get people to co-sign with that video, you have pulled off a lot. Because the first 35 minutes, y'all can flush that down the toilet. You start off by giving this man some credit for fighting guys more experienced. If all these guys got more losses than the guys Floyd them fought, all these guys was more experienced. That's experience? My goodness. I mean, experienced in what? Losing? I mean, the whole thing of comparing Floyd, the fighters that Ali fought, to the people Floyd fought is very stupid. You can't do it. You say you taught algebra, you should know that this is not right. You over here doing calculus without knowing the Greek alphabets. This is wrong. How you gonna compare? What you gonna do? Compare Ron Loud to Juan Manuel Marquez? That's retarded. To even go down that line. But let me go ahead and dispute this, because I can do in minutes what it takes you an hour to do. I get to the point. Now, here it is. A fighter's greatness is not going to be measured by him getting dropped. Okay? It only shows the mistakes he made and the flaws in his defense in which he was exposed. So you chose to bring up this bum who knocked down Ali, rather than saying, who was this guy that knocked down Ali and how great was he? We didn't hear that. We heard about how it showed character that he got dropped and got back up. So getting dropped is good. That's what I'm hearing? Getting dropped is good? I heard of getting caught with a shot and showing some adversity, but it ain't a good thing to get knocked down. I don't care if you ask any fighter in there. I've never heard a fighter say, man, I can't wait to get knocked down so I can see if I can get back up. That's retarded, man. I mean, because everything you said is so hypocritical. You're going against Floyd, blaming him for the state of the boxing where it is now, because it ain't a lot of black fighters for him to fight in his division. It's just the truth. At that time, yes, there were more African Americans in there. I mean, you gonna blame Floyd for the heavyweight division? There ain't a lot of black people there. And you know why? It's because at that time, boxing was the #1 paying sport. There was no sport higher, not even Major League Baseball was higher than boxing at that time. The NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball all surpassed boxing. They got the endorsements, they got the television contracts, and they became the highest paid sports. And boxing fell down and twittered away. So if you 6'10" and you LeBron James, back in the 1960s, you would have been boxing. Don't mean you were any good at it. It was paying the most. So you had a lot of guys in boxing gyms. Nowadays, boxing gyms are closed. In the hood, you ain't gonna find too many boxing gyms. If you definitely in the Midwest, and back then the Midwest was a hotbed for fighters. You ain't gonna find too many gyms. Gyms is closing left and right. Now they got MMA gyms. You got people training in soccer facilities, if they can. And these trainers are not people that really know boxing. A lot of them just applied for a license. They were wrestling coaches and decided to be boxing trainers. So you got to look at the aspect of the sport when you make that kind of comparison and try to blame Floyd for not fighting black fighters. That's retarded when a man didn't fought black fighters. And to me, he could be black, green, orange, and red. Floyd gonna beat the hell out of him. That's just the way it is. It's skill. You ignoring the skill by using ignorance to try to blind the masses. And that's not gonna ride with me. You can get the rest of them dudes on YouTube and they can have an argument, but how you gonna debate a guy who got beat up? And that's why I'm like, this dude got beat up. Archie Moore. How you gonna compare? I don't care. No one questioned Archie Moore's greatness. Nobody questioned the fact that he used the shoulder roll. Floyd Mayweather Sr. used the shoulder roll pretty good too. What about that? How did it work out for him? So Archie Moore, at the tail end of his career, you want to give Ali credit because Archie Moore had fought all of these great fights before his time. The man was almost 50 years old. It was a fight just to put a name on Ali's record. That's all it was. How could you glorify that? The same guy who tears down fighters already, you tearing down Marcos Maidana, who beat a guy who got 3 world championships in 3 different weight classes. He beat him, and he gets a shot at Floyd Mayweather. And you give credit to Keith Thurman, who beat a guy. You giving him credit for beating that guy, Soto Karass, when Maidana stopped him first. A man who, since he been with his trainer, has won 4 straight fights in a row. He was the first guy ever to stop Soto Karass. You gave him no credit. But you give it to Keith Thurman, they gonna kick you out. The haters, the Mayweather hating coalition, they gonna take you to the Grand General. He gonna be, yeah, can you send Mr. Blood Boxing in here, please? Ah, Mr. Box, we appreciate your efforts and the way you confuse the masses, but we have a structured agenda here and you just can't go off the file. Because it makes us look bad. Now, as you can see right here, we have a list of names when we tell you we like you to inspire and try new things, but you run it by us first before you go out there. Now, understand, this is the list. Now, when we follow this list and we stay to the letter, we don't have problems. Now, Mayweather ducked Manny Pacquiao, okay? That's on the list. We got Paul Williams, and we got Antonio Margarito. Okay, now you can go ahead and have Tim Bradley on there to spice it up because Paul Williams and Margarito are kind of old now. But when you say things like you ducked Keith Thurman, it makes us look ridiculous. And a man in my position cannot afford to be made to look ridiculous. Now, Keith Thurman isn't even fought for a world title. Now, how in the hell is he supposed to be getting a fight with Floyd Mayweather? This is going to make us lose followers. Clean it up. That's how you sound when you say ridiculous stuff like that. Then you get these confused people that follow behind you. Way to go, blood. Leading into the slaughterhouse. All these guys go straight to the slaughterhouse. Never mention the fact that Ron Lau, who was beating Muhammad Ali, and I said that in the video, he was beating Muhammad Ali. He just got stopped in the end. I gave him credit for Ron Lau. You just glanced over Bob Foster like Bob Foster was nothing. I told you about every fighter I said was good that I gave him credit for. You didn't mention the fact Bob Foster was really too small to be at heavyweight, but he had the punching power. You didn't go into any details on Bob Foster, and then you talking about looking at Ali's body as compared to the first fight. What that got to do with it? He came in a fight in shape. He should have came in shape the first fight. That ain't discipline. That's the greatest of all time. Somebody who ain't disciplined to come in the ring in shape. Yeah, that's a good point. My point, you said, why didn't I mention Floyd Mayweather? And that's the debate, Floyd versus Ali. I told you, you can't compare a welterweight to a heavyweight. It just gonna sound retarded. That's why I didn't mention Floyd's name. But you talked about Ali's greatness, so I showed you how suspect his greatness is. Now, if I showed you now, I just pointed out all these facts to show you how suspect his greatness is. So now it's like, okay, wait a minute. If he's so great, Carcino just made him look like an average fighter who had a good career. Because in actuality, when you take away the smoke and the hype, that's what it was. Muhammad Ali was greatly damaged by the fact that he lost those 3 years. He was an exceptional fighter with great talent, natural ability, talent to use his legs. When he came back, he was not the same Ali. He couldn't use those gifts that he had before. That mental stress was put on his body, facing 10 years, fighting the government, couldn't get money coming in, people had to help you out. That's stress, especially when you got wife and kids. That is stress, heavy stress on your body. And for him, he came back and he sold himself to the point where they wanted to see him. They wanted to make money off Ali. He was a money-making machine, but he was not the same fighter as he was before he left. He never got that back. He became flawed, and he was getting hit more. He had to box a little more. He had to use a more IQ. But yes, there was some fighters in there that were great that he couldn't avoid. He had no choice but to fight him. I'm not saying Ali ducked anybody. I'm saying he didn't fight Frazier, and you talking about Frazier ducked him. Now, how you gonna insult a man like that and say he didn't want to fight Muhammad Ali no more? That's why the fight didn't take place. Man, I'm out. I'm through. Because that man, why do you think the third fight took place? Why do you think the rematch took? If this man did not want to fight him, why did that even take place? Since he didn't want, he was ducking him, and then I guess he had no choice. I don't get it. Ali fought Frazier for the third time because he saw Frazier was struggling in his last fights, and Frazier was done. They wanted to get a quick payday. That's the only reason they took the Frazier fight. So the Thriller in Manila, the reason why I didn't bring it up is because of the simple fact he really looked. He tried to go in there and finish Frazier off early, but the fact that Frazier got a chance to get Ali one more time in the ring rejuvenated him. And it became a fight where they thought it was just going to be another, oh, okay, this is a showcase fight. This is another Archie Moore situation for Ali. You finna put this guy out the pasture. You know, Floyd Patterson fight. Yeah, he finna put this guy out the pasture. You know, come on. It is what it is. No matter how you try to dress it up and put the skirt on it, that's exactly what it was. And the rest of y'all trying to save face because y'all done took the slice of the pie and y'all bought that greatest of all time because you saw him in Zaire and the Rumble in the Jungle, and y'all done saw the documentaries and the movies, and you done ate the pie. So you done already ate the pie, you can't go back. So now you gonna what? Roll with the legend. When the lie becomes legend, you run with the legend. And that's what y'all doing, running with the legend. I'm out.